di toko.
Aduh,
Ada
perjuangan ya.
seru.
Perjuangan.
Tapi Gani udah standby kayaknya, aman.
Ya,
Yep,
terima
I'm on
kasih.
standby.
Iya, Gani standby. Mama stranded di Ancol nih, Gan.
That explains a lot.
Oke, wah luar biasa nih ya. Mami dengan putra nih ya. Gani.
Dan Gani.
Ibu Olivia.
Malam, Bu Ari. Sehat? Waduh.
Halo, Pak Salahuddin.
Siap.
Malam.
Gimana?
Boleh dimulai.
Langsung dimulai. Mas
Boleh.
Ganinya?
Mas Gani ada tadi?
Oh iya, standby ya.
Iya.
Bu Alif? Oke, biar on time kita mulai. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, ibu bapak sekalian. I hope you are all doing well today, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this special webinar organized by West Java TOT Jabar ya, in collaboration with IKI Kota Bogor. Today we have gathered here to discuss an important and timely topic. We are different. The story of an ordinary kid. Yeah. In a world that thrives on diversity, it is essential to recognize and celebrate our differences. Our webinar today revolves around the life of an ordinary kid who, like all of us, is a unique individual with a distinctive background, experiences, and perspectives. Through this narrative, we aim to shed light on the beauty and significance of embracing diversity in our lives. As the speaker tonight, we have Mr. Ganiha Dian Wirayuda, student of Coventry University London Campus, United Kingdom. And to moderating the discussion today, we have Miss Olivia Tomaso, representing from IGI Kota Bogor. She will be leading us in discussion and ensure an engaging and insightful session. As we progress through the webinar, we encourage all participants actively engage in the discussion by asking questions and sharing your thoughts in the chat box. We believe that collaborative learning experience, we will have a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's open our webinar by reciting Al-Basmalah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Then please join me in welcoming Miss Olivia Tomaso to take the virtual stick.
Okay.
Hello, Miss Olive. Okay, are you ready?
Yes. Yeah, I'm
Time is
ready.
yours.
Inshallah. Okay. Yes. Good evening, all fellow teachers. Thank you for joining the webinar tonight. And then this is again. I'm here again to be the moderator for our talk this evening with special guest Gani Wirayuda. This is very interesting for me. When the first time I got this over to be the moderator, I am interested with the title. It's very unique. So maybe later Gani can make me understand the meaning of the title. All right, let me introduce the speaker tonight. We have here Gani of Business and Commerce. He is a middle son. It's totally middle because with one older brother and one younger sister. Gani finished his bachelor's degree from Monash University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in August 2022 with a double major in accountancy and banking and financial management. Wow, double major, right. Prior to going to the UK, United Kingdom, Gani worked at PT Surveyor Indonesia for 4 months as a data analyst. And then currently, Gani is studying for a master at Coventry University, London, UK, with a major in financial technology. He is now in his second semester. Okay. Gani loves to eat. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. The eat here is the acronym: explore, animate, and travel. Wow. As a result, he loves being in Wanderlust. And then when he shops, he doesn't care too much about finding branded items either. If the product is good, then that's all it matters. Why? Yes, I agree with this. There's nothing special with Gani. He is just an ordinary kid who wants to share his experiences, his best and his worst moments, his passions, his scars and wounds. He hopes that if someone out there could relate to his experiences, he can help out by talking about them, even if it is by a little. As he already joined the Zoom meeting in his spare time during his studies, please let's welcome Gani Hadia. All right, Gani, how do I call you? Mr.?
Okay, just Gani is all right.
Okay, I'll just call you Mr. Gani. Welcome, Mr. Gani. And then it's your time now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everyone. Good evening, Indonesia. Good evening, Indonesia.
Good
And if you're in the UK,
Yes,
good afternoon.
Good evening.
Thank you, Miss Olivia, for the introduction. And I'm honored to be here.
Yeah.
Let me start with a bold statement. I think there are only 2 things that make every individual unique: their DNA and their life experiences. Sure, the DNA is self-explanatory, but let me explain the life experience part. When I say life experiences, it includes not just the events that take place or the time period they were born in or how they were raised, but it's also about how they respond to these events. I'm here to share mine. As a disclaimer, I will not mention any specific names of the people or the locations that I've been to. Like, it's not going to be that detailed. I'm just here to share something more internal. I'm here to share my stories, my thoughts, my perspectives, and my learning process. As per the introduction, I'm Gani. I'm almost 23 years old. I'm studying for a master's in fintech at Coventry University, London. And at the time of speaking, yes, I'm at my second semester. Though honestly, I didn't think I'd be here when I looked back. And this is the story of an ordinary kid named Gani. Next. Next. All right, let's do this. Next. Since I don't remember any of these times, I trust my mom as a source for this one. She told me that sometime after I was born, about 3 months old, I flew to Papua because both mom and dad worked there. At the age of 2, she noticed that compared to the other kids at my age, I was a very quiet kid. While the others were screaming and shouting and talking, I was silent. This made her concerned. She also told me that there was a time when only both of us flew back to Jakarta for me to do some checkup. I was checked on my hearing and I was checked on my vocals. And the doctor's verdict? I'm neither deaf nor mute. Instead, what the doctor diagnosed was speech delay. Mom noted that while I can understand what other people were saying, I couldn't form the words to respond back. And as a result, I was more quiet. With that information in mind, returning to Papua, Mom decided to quit her job and focus on actively learning about speech delay in order to help me talk. She also created these PowerPoint slides in her computer to make me interested in talking. She also mentioned me watching videos about children's songs and many more. Some time passed and it was school time for me. At the age of 3, I went to a preschool at this local company school. There was only one available there, and she mentioned that I cried a lot at the time. And a large factor that caused this was my speech delay. To that effect, Mom and Dad decided to move back to Jakarta in 2004 so that I can seek treatment. In Jakarta, my older brother and I enrolled in the same local school in Jakarta. While my older brother was in grade 2, I was in kindergarten. From this point forward, I remembered my childhood. And there were 2 sources of conflict that happened during this time period. One was my speech therapy, and 2 were my kindergarten days. Let's start with the speech therapy. Mom mentioned that there were 2 places for this therapy, which means not many good options were available. Sure, an option is better than no option, but that couldn't be further from the truth until I went through this session. In short, I felt very stupid in that session. No matter what, or more specifically, how I answered, it felt like I kept saying the words wrong. It felt like whatever I did was wrong, and I didn't know why. And this feeling of stupidity worsened during my time in kindergarten. I learned that being shy, short, and small in kindergarten at a local school made me a very easy target for bullies. Furthermore, because I don't understand their language at the time, when every time they say something mean, I couldn't understand what they were saying. But I understood their tone, I understood their delivery, which means, and this tone, it was either filled with anger or pure disappointment. I felt left out and ostracized during this time. Whatever good moments I had back then, they were overshadowed with psychological abuse and scars. If I had learned anything from that school, I learned what real monsters looked like. Mom noticed this. She realized how much trouble I was in, and her response was to put me in an English course, where I learned how to read English at the age of 4 or 5, somewhere over there. And to me, English was my escape from my local language. I found it to be more fun and comforting. Slowly but surely, I started talking, and it felt powerful to me. I can say and talk about things. Mom mentioned that I ended up saying too many things, that I got noisy at home. Additionally, this was when I grew up watching cartoons in English. Compared with Indonesian dubbed cartoons, the voice finally matched their lips. Watching SpongeBob in English felt like paradise to me, and it showed my love for animation. And one day, Dad took me to an international school for a registry and entrance test. I remembered that for one of my tests, I had to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Next. And as a result, I got accepted and I said goodbye to my local school. This was when I started my primary year to junior high in an international school. Compared to my time in local school, these were some of the best moments of my life. These are some memories that are made in this international school are some of the best memories that I've ever cherished. I felt comfortable. Next, I spoke English. And when people talked badly about me, at least I understood what they were saying. I felt safe, I felt smart, and most of all, I felt normal. As a result, I also understood the subjects that I was learning. Next. While math took the longest for me to understand, I slowly got the hang of it and loved it. Bahasa Indonesia was still a struggle for me, even with the newfound English that I learned. Skip forward to grade 2 and I joined this vocal course. I learned how to sing. I remembered in one of these stages, I was singing Michael Bublé's song Just in Time in a mall, and I felt so embarrassed. I learned at the time that I would rather sing with a few people without a stage, which formed this thought that I might be introverted. Fast forward to grade 4, realizing that singing wasn't for me, I switched to learning piano instead. I didn't like to sing, but I still want to make music. So piano was the closest alternative. Sure, the start was very hard, but just like math, I grew to love and cherish my piano playing days. And while all of this was going on, my family would go traveling. Singapore, Dubai, Malang, Bangkok, Surabaya, Makassar, Kuala Lumpur, Bandung, Lombok, Bali, and many other places. There was a lot of travel, and I love to travel. The first trip to Singapore, that was when I learned that I love to explore things. I loved eating ice cream sandwiches when I first realized that they had ice cream sandwiches. However, I didn't like photos. I never understood why we had to pose every time we entered a new location. But just like math and music, I slowly liked it. Math, music, arts. I hated these subjects at the start, and I slowly grew to like them. And translating these to my hobbies, I like to eat, which is an acronym for exploring, animating, and traveling. If I were to ask any stranger on what my hobbies are, these three would be my answers. Next. Up until the end of grade 10, I was in the zone. These were the moments that I can cherish looking back. All the ups, all the downs, all the people that I've met, all the people who I became friends with, all the bridges that might have been burnt, and I'm sorry in advance. But that 16-year-old Gani was about to learn that past scars don't heal. From the time that I was studying, I was very interested with the job that detectives do. You know, investigating the scene, collecting evidence, analyzing with logic, trying to connect the dots, finding the culprit, bringing the truth to light. Regardless of how accurate that was, that formed a lot of my decisions to be an investigator. However, detective work is not really a university degree, at least according to the school. So the closest thing that I can do to get that kind of detective work, to get that kind of job, is to be a lawyer or an attorney. Here's the issue. In order to work as an attorney, I need to pursue my law degree in Indonesia, which means I needed to be fluent in speaking Bahasa Indonesia. So entering grade 11, I had this hope that I'll make it and become a lawyer next. And if I have to speak Indonesian to be one, then so be it. Yeah, I think I can be a lawyer. Oh, wait, bahasa Indonesia. Oh, yeah, aku bisa jadi insinyur. Pasti bisa aku. At first, it was fine. I was slowly getting the structure down in the class next and got good scores, especially for math and science. However, I noticed that when it came to socializing, I couldn't understand what they were saying. Sure, my Bahasa has improved since kindergarten, but it came with a new challenge, Indonesian slang. As a result, I couldn't connect with the other students there and stood as an observer. But I still have my English to fall back on, right? About that. When Bahasa Indonesia class rolled in, I had to only speak Bahasa Indonesia, which meant that my English had to be restrained while class was in session. This rule bleeded to other subjects, and I slowly returned to silence and short words. But I was still hopeful. Sure, there were doubts in my head that I decided to ignore, that maybe, just maybe, I might have made a mistake, but I ignored it. And that's the funny thing about doubt. How quickly it can grow within a span of months, especially when you've gained experiences that further reminded you of these doubts. It grew, it grew, it grew, and it grew. Like a snowball rolling down a mountain, these doubts grew so large and obvious that I couldn't ignore it anymore. My mask broke. Maybe by then I couldn't handle the path that I was walking on, or felt regretful for taking this or even wished that I could speak Bahasa more fluently. Once February rolled in, I snapped. I didn't want to be there anymore. Whatever it was, whatever environment that I was in at that time, I didn't want to stay there. I wanted to stay in the school for as long as possible. I want to stay in the corridors. I don't want to be in that class. I don't want to be there. The few safe spots that I had were the counselor's room and outside the school. When I snapped in that room, I screamed so loudly that I could hear echoes from outside the corridor. Next, and the shameful part was that none of these students were bullies. They were hardworking and sociable people, and I knew some of them since primary. Despite the possibility that they maybe wanted to help me heal from whatever despair that I was on, I was scared for my life since they reminded me of scars of the past. By semester 2, I stopped going to school and I joined this character building course where I learned how to present. It was probably my single best insurance of a skill for an introvert because it taught me how to act. It taught me how to sound smart even when I felt like I had no idea what I was talking about. And best of all, I learned how to hide my insecurities and pretended to enjoy my time around strangers. Once that was settled, I joined this international fast track for bachelor's in business. 1 year in Jakarta, and then continued for 2 years in Malaysia. I got to speak English again with no restraints. I was in the middle of self-healing within this program. I met new people and time passed by and continued my journey to Kuala Lumpur. 1 year in KL, it was going well until one fateful day. Next. It's weird how one day, no, more like one lousy moment could potentially ruin the rest of my life. Back in Malaysia, I signed up for this event to go to a carnival because it was 50% cheaper than the original price. Sure, it was a field trip aimed for new students, and I just finished my second semester. I signed up thinking, why not? Why not? I've never been to this carnival before. Sounds like fun. And maybe I can network with people. And it was fun. During that event, we did several tasks around the place and walked around the carnival, seeing a bunch of rides. And I thought that from a networking perspective, the people I met were potentially going to be my friends. But once the event was over, I noticed two things. One, these potential friends wanted nothing to do with me. And two, I was desperate. I was desperate to build connections and make more friends. Maybe I was too desperate. Followed by this dinner we had together, the conversations didn't hit. They had their own cliques with each other. They had their own relationships, and I felt left out. I felt left out, and those scars came back to haunt me at full force. Unlike last time when I snapped and screamed, something clicked. Like a switch that flickered the hopelessness inside my head, I made a plan as I walked back home. The worst part was how detailed and confident I was in following through with this plan. I knew where I'd be. I knew how tall my apartment was from where I was standing, and I knew the height of my balcony sidebar. From such a height, it was enough. It was enough to do it. I spent a good chunk of my time formulating this plan as I walked back home. As I reached the bedroom, I was prepared to take action and bring this plan to life. Take a risk, take a chance, and not look back. I was ready. If it meant never seeing these haunting scars and memories again, I was confident in making this choice. Out of the blue, maybe because I was losing my sanity, I started having conversations with myself. Are you sure you want to do this? More than anything, I'm getting tired of all this and I prefer not to sleep. Well, since you believe in your own worthlessness, why don't you call mom? What? Call mom. If you're that worthless, she would be thrilled if you told her about your plans. Happy even. She doesn't have to know. Come on, you're gonna do it anyway. What's the harm in having a call? Fine. I hesitantly took the call and I called mom. When I heard her voice at that moment, I broke down. I officially lost it and I started crying and told her about my plan and the reasons for making it and why I called. This call lasted for hours. If I were to mark the lowest points of my life, it was this, December 2019. The next morning, I rushed to the airport. I didn't even want to be in my room. Just after that call, mom flew to KL and as promised, we met at the airport at the arrivals meeting point. Then we hung out, almost like nothing even happened. We walked around Kuala Lumpur, smoked shisha for the first time. And I remembered when my sister gave me her stuffed doll, it was delivered from mom for two reasons. A, she has a lot of dolls, and B, she knew that I loved that particular stuffed doll. Next. It wasn't until the third day that we talked about what happened at a grilled chicken restaurant. And from that talk, mom made an analogy that has stuck with me ever since she's mentioned it, which was called the airplane ticket. To paraphrase what she said, think of your life like waiting at an airport for your turn to enter a plane. The thing is, you can only receive this airplane ticket if you let your life play out to its fullest, aka dying due to causes beyond your control. Otherwise, if you go too early, you'll only see an empty runway, no planes, and no tickets. By that point, a security guard from the airport will come to ask for your plane ticket. You'd have nothing. And that security guard will arrest you. The point of this story is to let life play out and you will have your turn. Mom didn't promise that the bad times would go away. She didn't promise that the good times would come every day. But she did remind me that as long as I still have the time to do anything, I still have the time to breathe, walk, eat, drink, cry, laugh, read, joke, sing, and study, I can still take action and improve my life. Sure, I didn't believe her at the time, but the odd thing was, I didn't care if it was a lie. I was tired to argue philosophy, and I'd rather latch onto that small possibility that I might end up being happy. Additionally, after going through that lowest point in my life, the usual annoying and bad moments of everyday life felt so small and tame. This was made more evident when COVID took its rear ugly head months later. While everyone was going crazy over COVID and the lockdowns, I was in the middle of coping from the aftermath of my plans back in December. I don't think the friends that I've made there knew that I was having these issues. All they knew was that mom visited KL and I was hanging out with her. Unless they end up watching this, I don't think they knew. Next. While COVID was happening, I also failed some courses and had to repeat them. And while all that was happening, fasting month also happened, and we were like hanging out as a family. And in other times, Dad invited me to go traveling around Central Java. And these were all long distance travels. I joined him to help out with sightseeing and taking photographs. I remembered when he set up a mobile hotspot so that I could join one of the online classes at the time. I never really asked why he wanted to travel a lot, but a part of me should have. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known the curveball that was going to happen. Next. Sure, at first it was just a simple checkup at the hospital. Oh, he got COVID? All right. With the treatments provided, he'll be moving in no time. Then we were told that some more medicine was needed. All right, Mom made the necessary payments and I drove her around the place as a temporary driver and I handled the pickup. Wait, what? His health was deteriorating and was about to enter a ventilator? Okay, all right. I don't know what that means, but whatever it is, I'll just be on standby. July 6, 2021. The sun was setting down and I was in the middle of preparing for prayers or something. And I suddenly heard someone crying outside my room loudly. Mom was crying over the phone. I didn't realize the implication until I saw a very rare sight. I saw my older brother holding my mom's hand while she was crying loudly and his head was hanging low. That was unusual of him to do that. And that's when it clicked. No. We had plans. What about the travels? We were supposed to be accountants together. I'm back. I mostly felt shocked and numb. So many pieces were going on at once, and through the dead of night, I drove Mom and my older brother to the hospital to confirm. My sis stayed home to sleep since it was late, and it was further confirmed when we arrived at the hospital, not to mention seeing the photographic evidence. A lot of details went blurry between July 6th and the burial ceremony. I didn't recall crying in between those 2 days because there were still some things to settle and some tasks to complete. I cried when the burial ceremony was complete. Next. With that, those are my life experiences so far. Unfortunately, I couldn't condense every details of my life within an hour, and most of the major relevant events were referenced one way or another. Now, with all that said, I'm not special. The stories that I told about my experiences, someone else has experienced it before. I mean, there's a lot of people who've been bullied before. There are others who feel like they're not worth enough. There are others who wished for a different life. And there are those who wished they could end it all and succeeded. It's weird how, despite the fact that we have the same humanity with similar themes and problems, we feel lonely. There's still this barrier between our heads that causes disconnection. One evening, my mom and I had a little talk. She asked what my sins were. My sins? I don't know. I mean, I know I'm not a good person, but at the same time, I couldn't find the words to describe what kind of sinner I was. But playing devil's advocate, I decided to look back on my life and find any patterns that could allude to a sin. Suddenly, I talked out loud about not having any friends compared to the others. But more importantly, I felt regretful about a life that I'll never be able to live. In spite of the fact that I can speak English, I remembered wishing that I could live my life as an Indonesian with fluent bahasa. To me, this English me is an alien. I'm not normal. I remembered thinking that this is not what I want. I felt so angry. Why was I not accepted as a community all those years ago? Why was I the only alien in that place? It took a while, and then mom found it. I was not that grateful about myself. That was my sin. Then again, I did take a personality test to further understand all of this. Slowly but surely, I knew a little bit about me. Just a little bit. I could never be so certain. But the point is, even though this is the path that I've walked on, acknowledge the negative feelings in your head. Acknowledge that feeling. Let them go and be grateful about everything. Sure, maybe in the future, I may not be happy. I may not experience happiness tomorrow, or the week after, or the year after. But as long as I still have time, as long as I still have the ability to take action, there's still something for me to be grateful about. And next. And I would like to dedicate this portion of my time to say something. I want to say thank you for everything that you do. At least that's the short way of me to say that. But words couldn't describe like the amount of contributions that you do behind the scenes. And I'm amazed by how observant you were even back then. If you were ignorant, abusive, or just a bad parent in general, I don't know where my life would have been without your support. I don't think I knew what it would have been like if you weren't the person that you are. I really miss you. I miss y'all. I really wish I could see you again. Hopefully next year, maybe. Next. And in to close this off, it's yes, it's good to think positively. It gives you hope of a better tomorrow. It keeps your spirits up and it helps you keep going even when it seems like there's no reason to. If I were to learn anything about my life so far, it's treat this life like a journey. Treat this life like music. You don't listen to music to get to the end of the song. You listen to music to enjoy the music, to enjoy the moments in between. Yes, loss will come unexpectedly. Prepare for them. But at the same time, you'll experience a lot of joy. So cherish, and even though it's not much, cherish as much as you can about those positives. And with that, thank you for your time. I apologize for causing any inconvenience or discomfort during my presentations. Hopefully we can meet again. And if you need anything from me, you can contact me or through the host. That is all from me. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gani, for sharing your beautiful journey, right? From your just like kids to until you're now. It's just like struggling with what do we call it? It's like you face many things in your life. I'm so sorry. I have to turn off my cameras because it's just like shaking all the time like that. So I'll just turn it off. It's better so that we can be more focused to Mr. Gani. All right. So anyone here like want to share how do you feel after the sharing from Mr. Gani? Please, ma'am or Mr. and Miss, if you think you have something that you get the spirit of Mr. Gani, how he can conquer all the things that come to his life, and then yeah, he got a lot of support from his mom. That's very like amazing. And then he also can like what is it? He can face the things that bravely like that. Okay, any one of you want to share something with us tonight? Please, you may. Or maybe any questions about how to go to UK and any? Maybe Mr. Gani also can share about it again. So
Oh
like
boy.
how he can go to UK. It's like it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Very like how you can go to UK. How is it? I mean, all the steps that you have gone through until you can be in other country like that. Okay, anyone, ma'am or mister, please? Anyone? You may share your thoughts and about our speaker tonight, please. Oh, seems Ibu Endah Chris, you have to, what is it, the speaker? You have to turn on the speaker, unmute your speaker. Right.
There is information that is not allowing to unmute ourselves. Okay, right. Okay, actually, it is interesting to hear Mr. Gani talking about the journey of his life in a very detailed one. I cannot.
Yes.
It's a very detailed one. Okay, actually, let me introduce myself. My name is Endah Krisdayanti. Actually, I'm a primary teacher at the 4th grade, and then I've been experienced with some student. Actually, I have a student in my class who got a problem. Maybe not a problem. I got a student diagnosed with ADHD and then the speech delay. Actually, the first thing that I did was contact his mom. Okay, we talk and then discuss, and then maybe what should I do and I shouldn't do, for example, to that. But I still not get experience story about that one. Actually, I want to know about how was the roles of your teacher during your period at the school, for example. I want to know what kind of teacher that inspire you, that can be influenced. I mean, that maybe for me, it is important that what kind of what kind of teacher perhaps I can do as a role model to do, for example, to prevent my student to get the bullying because he's facial or their facial. Okay, that one first, maybe. Right.
I
Maybe
recall.
maybe
Yeah.
it's not only your teacher, right? It's like more like what is it? It's very good communication between school and parents. It's yes, it's the good there was a good communication between parents and then the teachers, so that maybe your parents like what is it, usually sharing, I mean, yeah, you join for the therapy, right? So maybe that one that your parents communicated to the teachers, so that the teachers help you so much in the classroom. But
Right.
please, Mr. Gani, share.
Actually, in terms of role models, I think I can answer the question.
Okay.
I remembered back in grade 3, there was this one teacher who I really admire because of his sense of humor. He knows how to entertain a room, and every time he enters the class, every single student was so excited about it. And if I were to be honest, he was a big source of inspiration for me when it comes to presentations. Like being able to be that charismatic and making sure that every single word that you say has weight. But then again, it also depends on the kid. What are their interests? What are their hobbies? I admire this teacher because I also have this issue of being misunderstood. I want to be able to present things clearly. That's why I love cartoons. That's why I love animations. And that's why I love how this teacher entertained the class. So if anything, it's also specific by case. You also need to understand your kid. What are their hobbies? What are their interests? What is it that they like to do when nobody is around? I hope that answers a part of your question.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah, I get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's mhm. Okay. Anyone else wanna share or wanna ask question to Mr. Gani? It's our speaker tonight is it's so amazing that he can share all his journey of life step by step, how he conquers it, and then how he faced it, even though with a lot of struggles there. And then I amazed with your mommy. I amazed how she could support you a lot in this in all your situations in your background like that. Okay. Anyone else here wanna share? Anyone else wanna share your thought? Even my daughter here just like listen to you, and then she listened and then Mom, how old is he? My daughter asked, how old is he? Oh, Mr. Gani, and I think he's still young because he's just like, what is it? How old are you, by the way? Is it Mr. Gani? You are around, what? How old are you?
At this moment, I'm
Mhm.
20. I'm 23. I'm turning 23 this year.
See, so you're still young. Okay, anyone else again here want to share your thoughts? How maybe sharing about how you inspired by Gandhi's experience. In here, that I can conclude that this is the what is it? It is the what is it? An amazing what is it? Yeah, communication between parents and teachers also there. Like what is it? How the parents communicate all the situations that Gandhi had, and then they also help Gani helps Mr. Gani to what is it, to have the therapy like that. So I see that you, what is it there? The therapy is very run well with you. The yeah, maybe because of what is it? It's like constant. So it's like consistent. Your parents consistent giving you the therapy. So it's very helpful for you. And then yes, what is it? Of course, it also comes from you. From what is it? You yourself are willing to improve, like willing to improve yourself, so that it's very inspiring. So maybe as we as the teacher can be inspired with Mr. Gani's experience, and then maybe in another time that we find someone like Mr. Gani, it's like, remember that everyone has the chance to grow up. Everyone has the chance to learn, and everyone has the chance to what is it? To do their best. Okay. Anyone else again? Mr. Gani, you have something else. Hey, by the way, about the little things, would you
Oh
like to
God.
share it?
Uh,
Come on. It's okay. Come on. It's I haven't opened it. I haven't heard it. But if you are willing, just please come on. It's okay. Just like we listen. It's so what is it? It's so good. Come on. Want to share it?
I would rather just explain the song rather than singing it here.
You have it in the YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's in YouTube at the
YouTube.
moment.
So would you mind to share that one? Maybe it's okay.
Maybe not now.
Not now. All right. So give us the what is it? Yeah. Give us the what is it? Something about the song. Tell us about
Something
the song.
about the song.
Yes. Tell us about the song.
In one of my travels with Dad,
Mhm.
I remembered when he talked about the early moments of when he met Mom, and I remember thinking about that particular story in my head, and it just bleeds to the pages of the song.
Mhm.
And he always gushes about like all of the little details of
Mhm.
why he cares a lot about her, and
Mhm.
it's sure at the time I was like, okay, that's sweet, okay. And only after everything happened, I
Mhm.
decided to write a song about it because it was kind of adorable,
Mhm.
and it became Little Things.
Yeah. All right. Can you just like maybe the refrain? What's the lyrics?
Oh
The
my
part. Just one. Maybe the refrain.
no.
How's the refrain? Please. Come on.
Uh,
Let us listen for that.
uh,
Come on.
I mean, it's
Come
just
on.
I mean, it's so cliche. Like it just starts like just something about smiling, like the way she smiles, making his day.
Oh, right. All right. What's the lyrics? What's the lyrics? I mean, if you don't want to sing it, it's okay. But can you just say the refrain part? Like how's the lyric?
Hmm?
How is the lyric? You have the lyrics? Would you mind to
Oh
share
my.
with us? Maybe the part of the lyrics. So I mean,
Oh
it's like
boy.
we can come on.
Hmm.
It's so amazing that you can create. I mean, you can just like put all your thoughts and your feelings in a song. Come on, can we see it? Just part of the
Hmm.
refrain. You don't want the whole. Maybe you.
Well, maybe I can show the chorus, I guess.
Yes. All right. Okay.
Hmm. He's just Dad is a simple man. He
Mhm.
So as a result, the phrasing of the song is much more simple. Especially in the chorus, it gets very repetitive. So I
Mm.
remember that I would imagine that from his perspective, he would sing like, that makes me love her, love her, love her. That makes me love her, love her, love her. That makes me love her to the core. I really couldn't ask for more. Something
Okay.
along those lines.
Ah, nice song, maybe. Yep. It must be a nice song. So later I will list. I think it's listen. Is it in Spotify or you can find it in YouTube?
I think you can find
Both.
it in YouTube. Yeah, both.
Both. All right. Oh, so it can be in you can find it in YouTube or in Spotify, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I did the title is Little Things.
Yes.
And then Gani, that one you have put. So you have the YouTube channel, do you?
Not officially, but but the song is there.
All right. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, anyone else again here? Ibu Bapa wanna share something you wanna ask Mr. Gani here? And so, when speaking English, it's like for me like more comfortable to call the name. So sorry, sometimes I forget the Mr. and and it's just like uh yeah, it's more comfortable for me because it's more like you know we feel so close. Okay, come on, anyone wanna ask? Anyone wanna share? Come on, it's very interesting. Our speaker tonight is very interesting. He has a very very what is it, wondrous journey. Come on,
Oh,
Amelia Ambarini.
Amalia.
Oh,
Oh, wait, hold on. Miss Siti Amalia raised her hand.
oh yeah,
Right.
raised hand. Oh yes, come on, Miss Riti, come on.
Hello, Danny. My name is Amalia. I
Hello.
want to ask you some question. What is your
Pipit,
reason?
pipit.
What is your
I think it's the
reason?
audio.
Louder, please.
Okay.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Good question. Okay, thank you.
Gani, why the reason you choose university in Malaysia and why you choose UK as your second as your master degree?
Oh boy. For the Malaysia, that's an easy answer. But for the UK, that requires a bit of context. Okay, let's start with the Malaysia part. As part of the international fast track, I had two options. Either I go to Malaysia or to Australia. I prefer spending my Ramadan in Indonesia, so I choose Malaysia. Plus, the pricing is much cheaper. Yeah, that's also the reason.
All right.
As for the UK, it's kind of unexpected. Like, sometime after I graduated with my bachelor's, suddenly a bunch of opportunities opened up, and suddenly there's this spot to to apply for masters in the UK. I honestly don't know how that happened. Like there was, I don't know if this was a coincidence or just blind luck, but all the pieces fell into place by that moment, and suddenly here in London, here I come. It's probably one of those moments where I say Alhamdulillah too. I really wish I knew how I ended up here.
Thank you.
Anyone?
Mas Gani.
Anyone? Oh, Amelia Ambarning, please.
Hi, Gani. Hi, Gani.
Hi.
Okay. Well, I'm Gani's mom. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hello,
Good
Gani's
evening.
mom.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm familiar with the name. Oh yeah, right. And the face too. Right. Once we have
Okay.
the Zoom, right? Last time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think I can answer the second one about the UK part. Why Gani going? What's the reason behind Gani's going to UK? I think the first reason is because it's a lot more quick, studying in UK compared to in US or in Australia. And so Gani has a dream with his sister and also his cousin that the three of them would like to go around UK. That's the reason why he picked UK. Is that right, Gani?
Yes, that's right. But it's just how I ended up here.
How you ended up there is because in Coventry University, the majoring in financial technology, that's the reason why Gani chose Coventry at that time. And also Coventry provide like a 6-month period of working after 1 year, what do you call it? 1 year study, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's for the reason behind why Gani chose UK at that time. Okay. And also Gani, you're welcome. I want to apologize also for you and for my other kids that we as the parents did not teach you the whole meaning of the life. We always handled everything from our side. We never train you, we never teach you how to handle a failure, right? This is the mistake, the understanding, and I learned this like a year ago. We as the parents have to teach our children how to handle the failure, not only to learn how to create positive thinking, but also we have to anticipate the failure, right? In life, there is not always a good side. We will not receive everything that we want. That's why we have to anticipate the failure. Okay, and Gani, you learn at your age right now, and I believe if you can handle your emotion, you can handle your thinking process, you will be a very successful human. Okay, thank you. And
into that.
Tante Hani, you want to say something?
Oh,
All right.
All right, thank you. Steve, anyone else that want to share your thought about our speaker tonight or have questions? Thank you, Janice, ma'am. It's like you are also one of the inspiration for us and for me to like, you just like yeah, it's like how you're doing well, how you work hard for your son like that, and then yeah, you just like what is it? It's like even you like putting yourself a little bit lower down just to make sure that every Gani also have his right to study and then to communicate with people, to meet people, to socialize. All right, anyone else here?
Okay, there's
Or
Paujan.
anyone raised hand? Two participants raised hand. Who are
There's
they?
3 now.
Let me see. Oh, all right. Let's start with Fauja. Is ibu or bapak Fauja? Fauja or no? Oh, lost again. Or Bapak Ahmad Alamsyah. Maybe you want
Yes.
to. Yes, all right.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you so much for this time because this is interesting discuss. But I want to ask with Mas Gani. Mas Gani, now I'm teacher in the SMK. I need your suggestion regarding our students. Honesty, almost 75%, or maybe it's not my school, maybe the other school. Our students, it's not, I'm so sorry, it's not fluently to speak English. I asked to them that they are very shy, and also they don't have vocabulary and for conversation. Now I have expert from you. Can you share your best experience how to make our student or the other students to be like in English and more than conversation to be good? Because when I worry that when I passing from the school and continue to university or looking for work, for the interview now is English, full in English. So how do you think about this case, about your experience? Thank you very much. Please, Mr. Gani, time is for you.
If I were to look back on my experiences on why I ended up speaking English like this and be able to handle like all of this, I think it's because of I love to watch cartoons growing up. And a lot of that is spoken in English. So part of me is driven to try to understand like, okay, I just need to know what this character is saying, and that'll make me very happy. And that drives a lot of my motivation to study English. And I think applying this to like a large scale for students, it's a matter of knowing, oh my God, it's going to be similar to that previous question, knowing their interest. And it's much easier to explain a new concept to children when they're having fun about it. For me, English is fun because it's related with something that I care about, which is cartoons. And
No sound.
it's just, I know how to do this. The thing is, I have a solution, but it's only applied for one-on-one individual, for one-on-one people. It's similar to counseling in a way, where you just sit there and get to know the people around you, get to know their interests, get to know their hobbies, get to know their dreams and passions, and connect that with the subjects that you want to teach. But the thing that I find a bit more tricky when it comes to SMK is that there are a lot of students. It is a much larger scale. And a lot of the solution that I may present, like doing one-on-one and just getting to know the student, that's sometimes hard to execute when it comes to 30 to 40 students. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mas Gani.
Yeah.
Just in many school there is any extracurricular in English club or whatever, and also last weeks I just finished attending from Semeo teacher exchange and student in by online about what was the title, I forget. But anyway, the only 5 or 10% students join with the extracurricular, and also join for the Semeo exchange student and teacher. That's the point. I think I'm not blame the teacher. I'm not blame the teacher, but maybe maybe our student for the next, not for now, for the next also 3 or 5 years later, it's a problem with not problem, it's our challenge for the teacher, especially for English teacher, because after the passing from the SMK or SMA, there is not active for English. That's the challenge for us. So maybe Mas Gani, our teacher did already about how strategy or method or whatever they have, but maybe again I'm not blame the student, but English is very difficult for them. Please, Mr. Gani.
It's kind of similar to how I struggled with Bahasa Indonesia growing up.
Maybe if I can help, maybe yes, it's the same like your experience, right, Gani? You difficulties with Bahasa Indonesia, right? So it's also like Bapak Ahmad students feel like maybe if I can help, it's like one of the good way of teaching our students English is by let them listen the native speakers. Maybe you can just like play the YouTube Bapak, like play the song, or let them listen to the songs or listen to the story, and then ask them what they can get, and then let them find the what is it, the what do we call it, vocabulary that it's that is not familiar for them, and then that's how we can improve their first that we have to improve is their vocabulary actually. So the way to improve the vocabulary, you can just like ask them to read and then also listen. Listening like I'm sure like in Gani's case is because he listened English when he was little, right? He listened more. He listened more the song in English and every. It is also happen. Was it? I experienced it with my daughter. So she often to listen for the English song and then the story. So that's why he can he can understand the English. So Bapak, maybe in your extracurricular you can just like play the music and then or the movie and then let the children the students get the vocabulary that they don't get understand, and then or maybe just write down what's the lyric of the song without seeing it first, like without searching it from the internet, but from what they listen they write it down like that. Maybe it's
Oh
help
my
it
God, that reminded me of
helps.
something.
Yeah?
Okay.
Thank you for suggesting that, Olivia, because that reminded me of something back in
Reminding for what?
the
happened.
international school. I remember from for one of the class tasks,
Mhm,
the teacher provided a random song,
mhm.
and he passes out a piece of paper that shows the lyrics, but not all of them were filled. So it's a matter of filling the blanks.
Yeah, right.
So all the students are tasked to fill in the blanks while listening to this song, and he only played it once. So by the
Yes.
time the students start comparing notes with each other, it was some of them had the right answers, some of them don't, but most of the wrong answers were hilarious. And and as a result, like everyone was like having an engaging time regardless of who got it right and who got it wrong.
All right.
They got to see which ones were wrong and which ones were right, and as a result they could learn from that. It's much more collaborative.
Yes, Mark,
and,
right.
and I
Right.
and I think being able to create that kind of fun environment where, sure, yes, be a little bit worried when you get things wrong, but like just enjoy it and have fun. Like, especially when this is language of all things, it's an art, not science. If
Yes.
if you get the numbers wrong in science, like that's bad. Especially if you're trying to build a train track, for example. Like you want to
Yes.
make sure that the numbers are absolutely exact. But when it comes to language, it's an art form. Like you're allowed to be much more relaxed about it. Sure,
That's
you
why
misspelled some words and all that, yes, but it's
yes,
fine.
we call it as language arts, right?
Mm.
Okay, Pak Anton Permadi, do you still want to share? Oh yes, please, Pak Anton Permadi.
Yes, thank you, Ibu. Thank you, Pak Gani. Good evening.
Good evening.
Are you still in UK right now while zooming?
Yes, it's afternoon right now.
Okay. Afternoon. What time is it?
It's about 2 p.m.
Okay.
Around that time.
Yeah, I got two questions for you just to
Go
share
on.
maybe with my own experience. And also I need to comment also to Pak Ramadhani. So I hope I can help him. First of all, Gani, how did you mingle, or how do you mingle with your fellow college students down there in Coventry? Because if I'm not mistaken, you are a Muslim, right?
That's right.
So you do the praying 5 times a day, and how do you deal with you as a Muslim person while you are in UK with different kind of weather, different kind of time of the sun rises, in Ramadan? Could you probably share your own experience there while in Ramadan, and how do you mingle with your fellow students there? Because I spent years in US, but I spent my educational years in US in a college where there are no Indonesians. So it was my choice to choose that university at that time. So I won't mingle with Indonesians because I want to speak English instead of being mingled with Permias, Persatuan Mahasiswa Indonesia di Amerika Serikat. I was wondering about your story. How's your story down there in Coventry?
I think
That's
okay. Let's deal with the praying aspect because that was a bit trickier to answer because I arrived in the UK experiencing culture shock because of how the sun works here. For some reason, depending on the seasons, there are long days and long nights, and that affects the schedule for the azan. And that caught me off guard so hard.
Okay.
Sure, there were some days that I ended up missing some time, and I ended up combining some of the rakats, and I apologize to everyone in this room.
Okay, but I believe that you have some students, your friends down there who are also Muslims, right? From tropical countries like Indonesia, right?
From Indonesia specifically, I'm
No.
very glad to say that there was one.
Mm.
And I spend a lot of my time with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about your homesick? Is it the first year or the first months you already have a homesick? Want to go back to Indonesia, or is it the second year then you don't feel anything? You just enjoy your life studying there in Coventry. What about the homesick?
Homesickness, it's not as painful as Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
especially during my first day when I was studying bachelor's, when I realized that my mom and my sister is about to officially fly back to Jakarta. Like that's when I felt in the most pain when it comes to homesickness. But by then I've gotten used to it.
I see.
Yes, I mean, yes, we did video calls to help ease the pain.
Yeah,
of this
video
whole
call. That's right.
Yeah. I didn't experience that when I was in college because at the time computers are just invented. Computers were invented in 1980s. I was in 1985, 1990s. I already in the US, so I don't experience like what you're experiencing. Can do the video calling with the family. Second question, Gani. I was late joining the session tonight. Probably I don't get any information. Do you study in Coventry with scholarship, or your parents pay your tuition fee?
No, there was no scholarship. It was self-sourced.
Okay. So how do you manage the finance? How do you manage the finance? Because college in the US is a lot cheaper than college in the UK, I believe. £1 is more expensive in rupiah compared with American dollars. How do you manage the finance there? By you earning the money there, or from the parents helping you with the finance?
Secret.
It's I think a lot of the financial aspects I couldn't thank mom enough for that. And also about your point regarding US being much more expensive than the UK, there are other non-financial costs to consider, like the cultural value, for example.
Okay, because I didn't experience of studying abroad through scholarships. I worked there, but I worked to pay my own tuition fee. Thank you very much, Gani, for my two questions. And this is a point probably for Pak Ramadhani, asking about how to help students with the English. Pak Ramadhani, I guess it's all about habits, Pak. So what is it? If the English teachers can make speaking English as a habit by making the environment English friendly, So for example, every Saturday when the students don't go to school, they have a meeting like English club every Saturday just to talk, to have a chat. And then around the school, there are signs in Bahasa and in English. When there is a flag raising ceremony every Monday morning, the principal is beginning to use English. So if everyone is aware of English, I believe it will support the students who want to speak English better, because it is not about learning fast or learning quick. It is about a gradual learning, bits by bits. So they will be very comfortable. And if we are talking about elementary school students, children or young teenagers, I believe the school need to provide more activities like games. So for example, like sports or Boy Scouting, and that use a little English. So if the school don't really push the English, but make the students be aware of the English language, so they don't feel that English is somewhat horrifying thing to learn there. I guess that's my point, Pak Ramadan. I hope that is a little idea for you with the school. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Ibu Siti, Gani also, and Pak Ramadhani. Good evening, everyone.
All right. All right. Thank you, Pak Anton Permadi. Yes, thank you also for the suggestion how to make a habit in speaking English. Yes, we have to start. Actually, speaking English is our we have to be brave to start speaking. If we don't, then yeah, we will just like left behind. All right. Anyone else here again want to share your thought or asking question to Gani, please, before?
Yes, I am.
Oh, right.
Go.
Okay, let's go. Where?
Mas Gani.
All right. Pak Alamsyah. Oh, again. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sorry. Mas Gani,
Oh, okay.
how long you stay in UK?
How long or?
How repeat again, Pak?
Yeah, how long you stay in UK?
Oh, how long have you been?
So far, I've stayed here for 7 months.
And the second question is, what is your favorite team in Premier League?
Who?
What is your...
It's soccer, right? It's soccer, right?
Yeah.
It's
What's
football
your
team.
No.
Huh?
I might have to say something controversial. I don't really care that much about soccer.
Oh,
All
English.
Oh, no.
English is favorite football.
I don't know much,
You don't watch
unfortunately.
football, do you?
No.
For
You
me,
don't
it's
watch. You
Chelsea.
don't
I'm the
watch
Chelsea.
any game, do you? I
Mm,
think Gani, you don't watch the game, right? You
I
don't
only
watch
know the
any game.
names of the clubs like Chelsea, Manchester, and Liverpool,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's it.
I don't believe Mr. Gani. He doesn't like football. I don't believe, yeah, because the England is very popular competition in Indonesia. Is he correct? Yeah,
Yes, it's a
everybody know. But
popular thing here, but no, I'm not really into soccer.
You're not interested. You're not into soccer. Into soccer.
okay, continue.
Yeah. So what are you interested in, like for the sport?
Okay, what I'm interested in. I like
can
billiards.
Oh, yes, right. I can see it from you that you're not that sport people, that sport person. So, but you must be doing the sport, right?
I remember doing pool and billiards, but I think my favorite one's definitely, I don't know if this is even a sport. Is chess? Does chess count as sports? Like,
Excuse me?
okay,
Chess?
like Hold on.
Yes.
Everyone here, raise your hands if you think chess is a sport.
Just only many sit
Yeah, chess,
down.
yeah, chess is a sport. It's brain sport. Brain
sport.
gym.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Yes, Gary, you want to share anything else again?
Yeah, now that I think about it, sports-wise, the most I've done is just running.
Okay.
But
Yes.
like sports, basketball, like yes, I can play. It's just I'm not interested.
Yeah. No. Some people they know the sports, but they're not into it, right?
Mhm.
Not all of the people into it, but they know the sports. Yes, I'm sure you know it, but yeah, I'm honest, I can see that you're not the sporty person that like you go very into it to a sport. Okay, anyone else again? Anyone wanna share again the speaking to the speaker tonight? It's very interesting tonight. Like everyone just like come with their questions for you. Yeah, Gani. And then you also like share it, like you shared everything that you know. That's very interesting. Maybe anyone else again?
Only there is a question from YouTube.
Yes. Oh,
I
from
have
YouTube, all right.
mentioned it from in chat box from Dia
Why-
Rahmi.
Dear Rahmi, wait, hold on. I couldn't find it, Ibu. Oh, yes. Is it possible to take the material on teaching and learning process for the Sekolah Ramah Anak or sekolah with the students with the disability condition? All right. Is it possible to take the material on teaching and learning process for the
This requires some
Oh,
clarification. What sort of
okay.
materials are we talking about?
Yes, that's right. What is it about? Maybe Ibu Diah Rahmi wanna ask about what kind of the materials on materials or during the teaching and learning process for the Sekolah Ramah Anak or sekolah with the students with the disability condition. Oh, do you have any experience with this, Gani? In your school, maybe in your in your elementary, maybe your teacher using something specific materials or like what we call it the technology to teach you like that. Do you have any experience with that?
I think in terms of teaching materials, we mostly got the
Hmm.
same thing.
Yes, teaching materials is just like
However,
yes. Mhm.
the thing that makes the different for the disability side is that there's a specific support group dedicated. There's like a room dedicated for just disability students who just need like that extra help. Oh, there's this one
Oh.
question that I don't understand. Like, ini bisa dijelasin lagi, or what am I supposed to be going for here?
Yes, it's like the question is about like maybe you experienced that your teacher once in a maybe in the elementary, high school, or maybe in the college that they in the college and then they teach you with using the what do we call it with the materials. It's just like maybe like dolls when explain it or just like the materials is like hands-on activity like that special. But you answered it already. You are put in a special room, right? In a particular room, and then in there they just like supporting you with the lessons, right? It's just like a remedial, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Especially
just like a
especially in those rooms, like they like to ask questions. So
yes,
so it
that's
helps.
right. Is it is it you and other friends that have difficulties like you in that group or what?
Yeah, I think it's just a few of us.
The few of you, all right, in the same level, right? That like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that is it. What's the international school name?
Hmm?
What's the international school name you join in?
Let's not specify that.
Oh, all right. Okay. So that's really interesting. All right. So anyone, any other questions? Gani, do you join any groups of international students down there in Coventry? Tell us about it. Oh, you join any?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yes, I do. There's this because in the UK they have this group called PPI.
PPI, Persatuan. No.
Wait, PPI. Yeah, I only remember the acronym. But
Tapi
oh,
itu
yeah,
pas
but
Persatuan Indonesia.
it is an Indonesian group in
Yes.
the UK.
Oh, all right.
And in one
Oh.
of those groups, I joined this society's event called Isaac.
PPI
Internet-
Perhimpunan Pelajar Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
Thank you.
so
Thank you.
much.
All right. Oh, okay. What you do in that community? Like, what are you? What you guys doing? Like, maybe you are sharing about. I mean, you're doing the social. What is it? The community service or what?
It's essentially, yeah, it's a committee. We're holding like an event where people can, where a bunch of speakers show up and spread ideas.
All right. Okay. So, and then so in PPI you can find people from around the Indonesia. It must be like the age of teenagers to adult, like that.
I think they're mostly bachelors to masters.
Oh, I see.
Like there's
Oh, yeah.
there's a specific WhatsApp group for that.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay. How do you picture yourself in 5 years ahead, Gary? Mr. Ahmad Amir asked you this question. How do you picture yourself in 5 years ahead? Wow, picturing.
5 years ahead, I pictured myself being a presenter.
Right.
I think starting from grade 10 or like 9, there was this one talk that I did when I helped people explain explain something, and I remembered feeling very driven to do that. And I think that character building course further solidified that love for presenting. I want to be able
Motivating.
I want to be able to
A
clarify.
motivator. Or clarify. All right.
I-
To
I-
motivate, do you think you want to be the motivator?
Not a motivator. I just want to be able to help people understand things clearly. That's not necessarily motivating.
Modifying. Well, what the motivating.
I can imagine myself that 5 years ahead, like I'll be working in some full-time job, trying to help people with probably like customer service or something, where somebody will call and ask, hey, I have this issue that I need to work on. Is it all right if you check this out? And I'll be there to help them make things clear and understandable.
It's the customer relation officer.
Something like that. I learned something interesting recently, where when some things become hard to understand, they become complicated. A lot of your value you can provide a lot of value if you can turn complicated things to complex. If you help people simplify things, make all of the complicated fancy words out there and just make it simple, make it easy to read, make it easy to digest, and it will help so many people.
Yes. Oh, right. So that is right. Oh, some people, who is it? Wait,
Oh,
let
that's
me
an
see.
interesting answer because I may want to be a lecturer, however, not in an academic.
Mhm.
Recently, I've been into watching documentaries on YouTube where people voice just people talk on videos, and I think that's
TED
something that
Talks.
yeah, something like this as well, but
TED Talks.
much but TED Talks as well.
Yes.
But I'm much more focused on case studies in a way, retrospective videos where they talk about some
Uh,
event that goes on in the past and explain for 40 to 50 minutes. I love that.
oh, yes. All right. That's interesting. Uh, okay, that's interesting. Lecturer, dean, uni, president, and Indonesian
Okay, that's
president.
too much.
Who knows? Everything is possible, especially like you have you know during our what is it during your presentation, I can see that how you pushed yourself. It's not about people pushing you, but it's also about you pushing yourself. That's why you are so advanced, like you are going advanced, you are going further, right? Because you pushed yourself. That's very good, Gani. It's very inspiring like that. You give the motivation for everyone. Anyone else again, Bapak Ibu? Anyone else? If it's not, is it almost time or how is it? How long do we have? How many more minutes? Pak,
It should be
Udin, maybe?
18.
I think enough. Maybe
Excuse me?
enough. Never mind.
Oh,
If
okay.
there's no question, we can stop it now.
Okay. Okay. Gani, do you want to say something? Do you want to say something that can make us? Here is almost your viewers right now is our teachers. So what do you want to tell us, the teachers, like when they having someone very special like you? You know, I'm not talking your special like it's like your weakness, but you know, how what is it? Yeah, you have your strength, and then what do you want to say to us, to all the teachers? Because it's not about your weakness, but it's about your strength. I can see it. It's about for your strength. Anything you want to say to us teachers here? Yes, you can, Gani, say it.
I get it. Some of you have very good most of you have very good intentions. Just because I grew up with one bad rotten apple doesn't mean the rest of you guys are. You guys are at the end human. You have your stories, you have your passions, you have your dreams, you have your issues and battles that I don't know about. And all I can say is from my perspective only. Whatever it is that you're doing, keep going. Even if it seems like hopeless right now. I have nothing but respect for you guys. I mean, it's just impressive that you get to teach 30 to 40 students on a large scale and still be able to go home at the end of the day checking homeworks and test scores. Like that's like the equivalent of a mental workout. Like the most I could do is just teach one person, but when it comes to large scale academic teachings, like I don't know how you guys do it sometimes. It's impressive, but at the same time terrifying, because just as much as you have all of this influence, you also have the authority to you also have an authority that you can abuse very easily to your students. And it's just something to be careful about. And I think the best of all when it comes to like teaching, like sometimes you don't have to do it by yourself. You have other teachers to help you out when things get out of hand. You have a network of systems that you can reach out to. And I think it's important to have that collaborative atmosphere, regardless of whether you're a student or a teacher or anyone really, because at the end of the day, we're all human, we're social animals. A lot of why we survive for so long is because of how we form cultures. And as long as you guys just keep going and be kind to each other. Oh my God, that sounds so cliche.
That's it.
And last of all, just thank you to all of you. And there's a lot of people that I haven't really thanked behind the scenes, but I might do that after this talk.
Yes, yes. Yes. Is there anything else?
I think that's all.
Hugs for Gani. Thank you so much. You are so inspiring. Like you inspiring all of us. You know what? From you that I'm sure everyone learns that how great the communication that your parents have built with the school, how your parents support you, and then you're so lucky you get all the support not only from your parents but also from your teachers. And then you know what, Gani, it's amazing that you push yourself, you what is it, you reveal what you have inside, and then you are so strong with that. So amazing. Tonight I can, what is it, it's so inspiring for me to listen to your story, your journey of life from your little until you are now 23 years old. And I hope I believe that all your viewers like now also are feeling like that. Oh, that's what is it? It's what is it? I just like wanna say thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have motivated all of us here right now, and then keep on going your good work. Keep up going, and then I wish you that you can get what you want in your 5 years, like you're telling, it can become true. Okay. Thank you so
for
much.
inviting me.
Yes. All right.
Thank you too.
Yes, all right. I think it's enough for tonight. Sorry, Gani, I have to turn off the camera, like I said, because it's shaking. I don't know why my camera is like that. I already changed with another Zoom. Why is it using another email, but still like shaking? I don't know, something wrong with the connection probably. But here I watch your presentation. Thank you so much, Gani, for tonight. And then everyone, thank you also for participating tonight, and hopefully everyone get the, what is it, the red lines from our discussion tonight. All right, maybe I give it back to Pak Salahuddin.
Yep. Okay. Ibu Bapak sekalian, we have to come to the end of this insightful webinar on We Are Different, the story of an ordinary kid. So I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Gani, for sharing his experience of life and providing us with a valuable insight into this important topic. So I would like also to our moderator, Ms. Olivia Tomaso, for skillfully guiding our discussion and ensuring an engaging session. Your expertise and enthusiasm have made this webinar a truly enriching experience for all of us. So I would like to take a moment to thank each and every one of you, our participants, for your active engagement and insightful questions through this webinar. Your enthusiasm and commitment to improving education are truly inspiring. Yeah. Then I would like also to express our gratitude to Stecom University in issuing webinar certificates for our participants. It has been invaluable in helping us to provide high quality professional development opportunities for all participants. Yeah. My special gratitude also to all coordinators of TUT Jabar, to our founder Miss Ari and all crew, Miss Amel, Mr. Ridwan, Mr. Joko, for their hard work and support in organizing this event. Your dedication behind the scene has been instrumental in making this webinar a success. Okay, so before we close, I would like to remind all participants to kindly fill out the attendance form provided via the Zoom chat link. This is a necessary step for the issuance of your certificates, which will be processed within 5 working days and sent to you via WhatsApp. Please ensure that you provide the correct contact information to receive your certificate promptly. Additionally, we will be sharing the webinar material and resources through the Designs WhatsApp group. You are all invited to join the group using the link provided. It will serve as a platform for further discussion, collaboration, and sharing of the best practice among educators. So furthermore, I would like to invite all participants to consider becoming members of IGI, Ikatan Guru Indonesia, and PTIC, Persatuan Teacherpreneur Indonesia Cerdas. This organization offers valuable networking opportunities, professional development program, and resources to enhance your teaching practice. You can register and find more information through the provided link. Once again, I extend my heartfelt thanks to everyone who made this webinar possible. Let's close this agenda by reciting Hamdulillah. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you all, and we have a wonderful day ahead. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Thank you.
wabarakatuh.